right, welcome to another edition of Evan Ginsberg's Legends TV. And my usual co-host, Steve Ludwig, is out. He's ill. He has a very bad case of the cooties, but we're taking care of that, and he should be back next week. But right now, we have in his place noted wrestling journalist Eric Cholminski. How are you?
Finally meet you, Evan.
Same here. We have never met before, but we've been online a zillion times. And tell us about your Facebook page, world-renowned.
I run the Classic Japanese Wrestling Facebook page, which has become very, very popular in the last year and a half.
And tell us about the shirt.
Yeah. I actually got this shirt for free in Tokyo. One of the great things when you go to Japan is that if you buy a lot of stuff in the stores, they will give you free stuff as a thank you for buying stuff.
You can live to 107 here. That'll never happen.
It will never happen here. It's I was very confused as to what exactly they were doing at first. There's a store called Champions where I bought all the tickets, and I had to buy tickets for 27 different shows. And after about the 9th ticket that I bought, the guy at Champions, whose English was not that great, he said, wait.
Yeah.
And he went and he got a All Japan tracksuit, one of those tracksuits that the young boys at ringside wear, the rookies with the, and he put it with the tickets, and I was looking, and I don't want that. It's like 30,000 yen, $300, and I'm like, oh, present.
Wow.
He was saying.
Wow.
And as the more tickets that I was buying, he then grabbed an All Japan shirt and a New Japan shirt, put that in. So by the time I was finished, he had given me a tracksuit, he had given me the 2 T-shirts, and he had given me a DVD box set for the old Tenaru Company War, which has like 4 DVDs in almost every show that the company ever produced. And if you've ever been up to Japan, the DVD prices over there are outrageous. Prices are a bit out of whack over there. You get a bottle of Pepsi for like 75 cents, but a DVD $65. Wow. It's very strange. So I run the Classic Japanese Wrestling Facebook page, which has become very, very popular due to the fact that we also, along with the guy in Florida, Jamal Hepburn, we have the Real Hero Daily Motion channel where we have all the shows up there to give people an alternative that there's more to wrestling life than Monday night at 8 o'clock.
Monday Night Raw is 3 hours of your life you'll never get back. It is painful. It is soul-killing for the most part. The stilted dialogue, the endless promos, the endless hype. And then if you TiVo it, you get 18 minutes of good wrestling, and you've just lost 3 hours of your life. Does that sum it up?
I can watch an episode of Raw in about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And that
I could do it in 18 minutes. Cesaro. I love Cesaro and Seth Rollins.
Ziggler, even though he never wins and he's a total geek on the show, he's a good worker, so I like watching him.
He's a good worker, but I still think he's lacking some charisma. I know people may disagree with that, but there's something missing.
On his promos, yes, to a degree, but his in-ring work's really, really good. So
tremendous.
I don't fast forward his matches.
Yeah. I like Cesaro, Rollins, Daniel Bryan when he's healthy, of course. Not too many others.
That's a tough show to get through, and that was one of the reasons why me and Jamal started doing the Japanese stuff online, because it's such a better pro wrestling product.
Let's take this to another level. You went to 27 shows in Japan.
I did.
This must have cost a small fortune. Your wife is extremely supportive. Tell us about that.
She is. I even went over the Christmas holidays, which is even more bizarre. And I went by myself.
Well, so she didn't go with you?
She did not go.
Okay, so it's like, have a nice Christmas, have a nice New Year. I'm going to 27 wrestling shows in Japan. How did that play?
Well, she actually was a big fan because, like many families, we split time. We do Thanksgiving at my family, and we do Christmas at her family. And my family all lives within about 6 blocks of each other. So if things are getting out of hand, if the kids are driving me bananas, I just say, see ya, you know,
Wow.
I go home. But her family all lives in the suburbs. I'm trapped at Christmas, you know. People are running around, it's chaos, and she doesn't see them as much as she sees my family. So she never wants to leave. And after a while, I'm like, yeah, we've been here for like 9 hours. Like, at what point is the obligation finished here? You know, it's like, these kids are driving me nuts. And you know how it is. If you're a city boy,
so you understand each other, basically.
Yes, we went to grade school together, so we've known each other very well.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
So
give us a ballpark figure. What is 27 shows, tickets, plane? What does this cost?
I was well into the 5-figure.
5 figures.
Range.
Wow. You love your wrestling.
Yeah. Well, to me, it was like a once in a lifetime trip. So you want to do as much as you can. I sat in the front row at the Wrestle Kingdom Tokyo Dome show. Ticket cost me 50,000 yen.
How much is that?
$500 at the time. It's a little cheaper now. The yen's dollar's really good against the yen right now. At Cork and Hall, the most expensive ticket is 7,000 yen, which is about $70. But by the time I got there, it was like $58. So it was like $58 a show for most of the shows.
Which is pretty reasonable.
There, yeah, it's a really good deal. Cork and Hall's a nice building. It's like the ECW Arena if you've ever been there. Little bigger, but not by much.
I was at the ECW Arena probably 25 times back in the day.
I could open the door, throw a rock, and hit the building.
Wow.
I live right there.
Speaking of which, you were at all the big shows this week, Ring of Honor with New Japan. Tell us a little about that.
Those shows, the quality of those shows is so different than everything else in American wrestling right now. TNA Impact Wrestling, it is almost a criminal offense what they do to the town, how they've destroyed talent.
TNA has one of the greatest talent rosters you've ever seen,
and
the show is painful to watch. The house shows are awful.
They can't run them.
I've been to TNA house shows where they've had 45-minute intermissions to hawk merchandise. Then AJ Styles was wrestling for 8 minutes. You know, you just want to put a gun to your head. You know,
they're an embarrassment many times, and it is a criminal offense that Ring of Honor has not had the national TV contract. And TNA has, the work rate in Ring of Honor. If there's a company in America that people deserve to have more eyes on, it's Ring of Honor. I mean,
I love ROH. I brought ROH into the Wrestler. I was associate producer on the Wrestler. I brought them in. I know Carrie and the whole crew, and And speaking of which, R.I.P. Larry Sweeney. What a genius! Yes, what a shame what happened to him.
Yes.
And one of my favorite wrestlers of all time is Nigel McGuinness. I think he was as great as anyone.
He really is.
Yeah. ROH is my favorite promotion.
They're my favorite promotion in America, and they have been for a while. I'm more of a fan of the in-ring action. One of the reasons that I could do without Raw is that it's 25 minutes of talking to start the show, and then it's 35 backstage segments. None of them are funny.
You don't enjoy Triple H's 20-minute monologue and Cro-Magnon speak?
No.
Okay. Okay. Just checking.
Ring of Honor's TV show is such a great little show. It's an hour. It's about 45 minutes of wrestling and maybe 5 minutes of promos that they're just, it's good in-ring action. They all work so hard in that company. Now, I know these are different kind of shows. They were on their A game because it's New Japan. They want to get booked in New Japan. But Roderick Strong was having a 4.5-star match. In the
I love Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong is such a great technical wrestler. Not the most charismatic wrestler in the world, but what a great technical wrestler.
He is great.
Yeah. He looks like any guy walking down the street. Then you put him in the ring, he's like a machine.
He's very friendly, too. It's another thing that he's very, very friendly. They have those meet and greets at Ring of Honor, and some of the guys will, they sign your autograph and then they look at you. Some of these guys. Roderick Strong is almost holding the line up, because he'll talk to you. So I'm a big fan of Roderick Strong. And, he's having 4.5-star matches on Tuesday night, second match on the show. I mean, you just
Tremendous.
don't get that in in any other company. It's, me and Barry Rose, who runs the Florida group on Facebook, Florida Wrestling.
I know Barry 30 years.
Barry's a good guy. He's
Yeah.
moved up in the Philadelphia suburbs, so I've been to about 6 or 7 shows now with Barry. But it's, after the match, it's like we looked at each other. I was like, oh my God, it's the second match. It's like this could this has potential to be like one of the best shows of all time. Being in this show, and you lose something watching on the video.
The ROH shows with Nigel and Austin Aries and Bryan Danielson, now Daniel Bryan. I mean, Roderick Strong, of course, and the Briscoes.
Was there.
That was Tyler Black. It was such a talent-laden promotion, and all the Japanese guys were in there. Morishima, all these guys, tremendous, just tremendous.
Kobashi, and he's the greatest wrestler who ever lived.
There you go.
Kobashi.
They were all there, live and in color.
That was 2 great shows in Philadelphia.
Available on video on demand, so support
I don't know if
ROH.
they're up there yet, but
It's going to be. They announced it.
Yeah, that's what I put in the Facebook group. I'm like, I know it's very, very easy nowadays. You just click that download link on these sites, and I was like, but how hard those guys worked on that show, they deserved $15. Come on, $15.
They worked like it was WrestleMania.
They really did. I mean, they're trying to get. They got the G1 coming up. These guys want to get over there. Yeah. So they were on display a lot for those 2 nights and 2 nights in Toronto.
Wrestling, when done right, is an art form. When
really
done right,
is.
and wrestling, when done wrong, is a circus. And much of what's on TV today is a circus. It's too bad.
Yes.
But why don't you? You were gracious enough to put together a photo display for us.
Yes.
Why don't you walk us through your big Japanese vacation wrestling tour?
I got there on December the 19th, and the trip did not start that great because American Airlines delayed the flight about 7 hours. Typical airline fashion. It was a 7-hour delay with no explanation whatsoever why we were sitting in this airport forever. And it was just, we're waiting for a plane to come in. I had this van that was supposed to pick me up at the hotel, at the airport. And I'm petrified because by the time I get in Tokyo, it's 2 a.m. But you married an Asian girl. These are the nicest people.
My wife's Korean.
They are the nicest people in the world. It's not even comparable. The lengths that these people will go to. I mean, I got there at midnight, maybe, and was supposed to land at 4 o'clock. And they were still waiting there to bring me to this hotel. It's just amazing. This guy just sat around and waited this whole time. When I started going to shows the next day, and I saw basically every promotion over there.
Wow.
Except for Dragon Gate, who wasn't in Tokyo at the time.
I saw Dragon Gate on Long Island.
Yeah, did you?
They brought in all the Japanese
guys. There was no Dragon Gate when I was there. That was kind of a bummer. Dragon Gate's probably second or third best promotion over there. Right?
Well, walk us through the first picture.
Okay. This is the perfect example of Japanese hospitality and how these people will go out of their way to help you. I had the first row at the Tokyo Dome. And when you sit in the front row, you get to keep the chair, and they had that special chair with the wrestlers drawn on it. But after I took the chair out of the Tokyo Dome, how am I going to get this chair home? It's like it doesn't fit in the suitcase. They have no idea what bubble wrap is. It's like a foreign concept to them when you show them a picture of bubble wraps. I had no idea how I'm going to get this chair home. And that show was January 4th, and it was about January 9th, and I still had this chair. And this girl worked at the hotel, and she said to me, do you still have the chair? And I said yes. And she said that, bring the chair to the lobby tomorrow, and I will help you with your chair. So I brought this chair down at like 9 a.m. and she got on the phone and she made a call, and about 5 minutes later, a man came in from the post office. So she called the post office, and they sent this guy over. And he measured the chair, and then he turned around and he left, and she said, wait. They all know the word wait.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't speak English, but they know wait. And 5 minutes after that, he came back with a bunch of boxes and tape. This girl from the hotel and this guy wrapped this chair up in these boxes. By the time they were finished, it looked like a brand new box that you would buy in Lowe's. I don't know how they did it. And the guy gave me the EMS form to fill out so you can mail. And
How many pictures do you have?
6.
Okay, we have to speed it up. Otherwise, we have a ton of guests coming.
Oh.
Okay.
So
let's go.
they mailed the chair
Okay,
for me.
let's go to the next picture.
Okay. This is the ring announcer from Okie Okie Dada from 01. The only reason I put this picture is sometimes you'll hear a bunch of independent promotions and you'll hear people say that I wish All Japan and 01 would combine, because they both don't draw all that well. This guy right here is the hardest working man in Japan, Okie Okie Dada. This right here is Toshiaki Kawada, who is one of the best wrestlers of all time, who now runs a ramen noodle shop, and he actually serves you. It's very bizarre. It would be like going to Wayne Gretzky's restaurant. He brings the food out to you. This guy, he was at almost every show I went to, didn't speak a word of English, but walked up almost every show, said hello to me, bowed, and went back to his seat and made sure he came up after every show and shook my hand afterwards. Very, very friendly guy. And this guy is Fumiaki Mizutani, who everybody knows on Facebook. He has the replica belts. He brought me to an Akira Maeda talk event for 5 hours and translated the entire event for me. And after the show, he got a room at my hotel, and if I can show you something that he did as a thank you for allowing me to let him stay in my room, he drew these pictures. It took him about 5 minutes to draw this picture right here. He drew this one. He drew this one. And he drew Stan Hansen, this one.
There you go, the great
It took
Stan
him about
Hansen.
5 minutes. And he also made a replica title belt because we met Akira Maeda. So he made this belt on the computer. And he said, Eric, this is a present for you.
Wow.
So we can get Mr. Maeda to sign. And this is Akira Maeda's autograph on the belt. When we handed this belt to Maeda, he was aghast and said, where did you get this? And Fumi actually made this on the computer. He is the nicest man in the world. Impossible to dislike Fumiaki Mizutani. Everybody should know someone like this.
You haven't met Johnny Malloy yet. He's going to be on the show later. Yeah.
Well, if he's as nice as Fumiaki,
Okay.
Fumi he's everybody should have a friend like Fumiaki Mizutani. The world would be a better place if there's more people like him.
And not only are you a huge fan who travels the world, but you're also involved in wrestling as a heel manager. So let's check out this video clip of you in action.
Not union, not an independent contractor. I'm nonchalant, and these others are non-factors. Factory line, but they invalid. It ain't where you're from, it's where your hard hat, kid. You think your man is dope? I think your man is whack. His style is out of date, his raps are fanny packs. Overly nostalgic, his intellect's lazy. His backup dancer is the dancing internet, baby. I make 'em melt down like they power plants. Make 'em give smelling bad. I rant, rave, hoot, holler, plunder, and loot. Not one to pollute, just have fun and recoup. So many lines of scripture you can analyze a 2-verse song. I call it travel sized. 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 In rap scenes, I'm connected like a dial tone. Years later, still ain't broken down like I'm styrofoam. I'll never die alone. I'll probably buy a home and perform lives I alone on a xylophone. I get it poppin' like pimples on the paparazzi. My ex is paging me, she needy as a Tamagotchi. Except she don't got a reset button outside my voicemail. She gets nothing. A lot of new girls wanna see me lately. I put a poem in their ear like a Beanie Baby. Something simple, wasn't too wordy. By the second date, they bleating like a Furby. 10 p.m. watching Ividaloni. 10 a.m. watching My Little Pony. So many different lines of scripture you can analyze a 2-verse song. I call it travel sized. 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 I call it travel sized.
Looks like we're going to have an official announcement here. Or not, wait a minute. Breaker. Now Phil slides in for it. Wait a minute now. Referee Phil Sly's lawyer making his way into the ring. Now there are 2 big dangerous men in the middle of that ring. And the lawyer, I'm sure he's gonna, I think the lawyer is telling Breaker and Apollyon that if they touch Phil Sly, they'll probably be sued too. And Phil Sly, wait a minute! Phil Sly just pushed his lawyer into Breaker Morant, and Breaker Morant body slams this lawyer. This man is not a wrestler. What is Apollyon doing? Apollyon off the top! Oh my God! That man needs medical attention immediately. I don't know how wise it is to roll him out of the ring, but that man is not a wrestler. He has no wrestling training. Unbelievable. And you know what? If it was anybody else, I mean, I feel bad for the guy. I feel bad for the lawyer. But if it was anybody else, I'd feel terrible, and I would think they were the most despicable people in the world, aside from maybe Ricky Martinez, for what they were doing to a man who has no wrestling training, no wrestling background whatsoever. Absolutely unbelievable. But you know what? It's Apollyon and it's Breaker Morant. So I don't want to say that it's not deserved. It just...
All right. Eric in action. And before that, that was Chaz Kangas, who's a great young rapper based out of New York, who's a huge wrestling fan. And if you listen very closely, sometimes you'll catch wrestling and pop culture references in his raps. So that was a world premiere, by the way, of Chaz Kangas. We were going to play it a little later in the show. No harm done. And Eric, very quickly, tell us about your role as an indie heel manager.
I managed referee Phil Sly, who turned into a heel referee, and the company tried to fire him, so I am the lawyer who has saved him from being fired, but now they force him to be in the ring, and it always seems like I am the one getting the brunt of the action, and Phil continually escapes, and that was no fun.
There you go.
There.
So this is like a childhood dream, I would imagine, being in the ring.
It's a lot of fun, yeah.
There you go.
It's a lot of fun.
So your life is a lot of fun, traveling to Japan and going to all the indie shows and being in the ring. It's never a dull moment for Eric.
No, I have no kids. It's a beautiful thing.
There you go. There you go. All right. And when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, more with Eric. And also later in the show, live music with the great Tommy Marr. But coming up next, Binky, OneZzz, and Johnny Malloy from SWA. Don't you dare go anywhere.
is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
For nearly a decade, Evan Ginsberg's Legends Radio has featured interviews with the greatest names in the arts and sports. Heard worldwide at legendsradio.net, the program has featured these great musical legends: Ray Manzarek of The Doors, Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins, Judy Collins, Roberta Flack, and many more. Stars from movies, TV, and comedy have included Jenny McCarthy, Wayne Brady, 30 Rock's Judah Friedlander, Shelley Berman, Jackie the Joke Man Martling, David Allen Greer, and Paul Mooney. Stars of pro wrestling and MMA include Bruno Sammartino, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Superstar Billy Graham, and Frank Shamrock. Co-hosted by renowned journalist Dr. Mike Lano, Legends Radio is heard Wednesdays 7 p.m. to 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard. We are archived 24/7 with hundreds of hours of classic interviews. Legends Radio also features the best in indie music, showcasing talent deserving wider exposure.
I'm from Brooklyn, baby. Don't forget the gravy.
We are soldiers.
You missed the birth of your mother and father. Don't you dare miss Evan Ginsberg's Legends Radio.
After all the candles are blown out, after the last toast of the night, Cambridge paving stones with ArmorTech stand the test of time. Beautifully designed, built to last. Only Cambridge paving stones have ArmorTech, our unique process that produces a rich, distinctive color. Create your own memories with Cambridge paving stones. Visit CambridgePavers.com.
Cambridge paving stones with ArmorTech will always look like new.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Do dogs chase cats?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
And we are back. And our friend Johnny Malloy from the SWA, joined by Binky OneZzz, who's about to make her wrestling debut.
That's right.
How does that feel?
I think I'm pretty prepared. I'm a little nervous, but...
Pretty prepared indicates you're not quite sure.
I've been training for about 8 months.
8 months, wow.
Yeah, so I think I'm prepared for it. I'm ready.
So when you walk down that aisle for the first time with a live crowd, what do you think is going to be going on in your head?
Oh, I hope I don't get into like a panic mode, but I think I'll be all right. I've filmed many shows before, so I know how the crowd is, so I think I can be very comfortable in front of them.
And it's also a friendly hometown crowd for the most part. I think they'll be supportive of you. They know you. They like you personally. You know.
I think I'll be all right with that.
Yeah, I think it's a little different if you're walking into a hostile environment. And are you going to be face or heel? Do you know?
I'm going to be a heel.
Yeah, okay, yes. Okay. Well, in this day and age, you know, the fans are very pro-heel, so that may help also.
Yeah. And to explain the name Binky OneZzz, is that it's a bad morning. I always wake up on the wrong side of the bed. That's my gimmick, is that I'm always cranky, and I just I don't do well when I wake up.
Okay.
So it's true to life.
and Johnny, as a veteran wrestler, what is your take on, what would you advise somebody making their debut? What would you tell them as far as working the match, working the crowd?
Well, I guess the secret is keep it simple. I mean, the simpler you keep it, the less you have going on in your head, the more you can focus on the crowd. Because if you don't make that connection with the crowd, whether it's your first appearance or your 100th appearance, you're dead in the water. They have to care about what you're doing.
Okay, that's good advice.
Your emotion times 100, give it to them, and they'll give it back. If you do it right, they'll give it back every time.
And don't be so fixated on the next move, the next spot where you're not reacting, not selling. Right, Eric?
Yeah, look, one of the things that I would suggest is if something goes awry, you know, just don't show in the ring that you're panicking that it went awry. Because the people in the crowd don't know that, you know, you had that spot ready. You know, like, they're not going to know that you missed it. Even though, like, sometimes, like, a wrestler will miss a spot, and it's like, you really can't even tell. But you know you missed it. So then, you know, natural instinct is to go, oh, well, the guy in the fourth row has no idea that you just flubbed what you wanted to do. So you just keep going. Like, that's one of the things I notice a lot on the indie scene, that people, they lose track of what they're doing in there instead of just doing the match.
Okay.
So,
keep my cool.
So Johnny, tell us about the show itself so everybody could come out and support her.
Well, Binky OneZzz, she appears on the NYWC all-women starlet event on May 29th. Top to bottom, start to finish, every match.
This is the first I've heard of this. Has it been publicized?
For a bit.
Yeah, they've ran a couple ones.
Yeah.
It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the audience is accepting the starlets more and more. And the starlets themselves, the quality of their wrestling is going up. So the shows are going from something where it was like, okay, all right, I have nothing to do on Saturday night, to, oh my God, I can't wait to see what the NYWC Women's Champion Pickles does next. I can't wait to see the debut of Binky OneZzz representing the SWA Training Academy. There's now becoming a reason to buy the ticket, and the matches are actually backing up the ticket price. It's a good way to spend your May 29th.
I tell people all the time that indie wrestling is probably, with minor league baseball, the best live entertainment value you could imagine.
Absolutely.
It's for the price of a movie ticket. Movies in Manhattan are $15.50, okay? So for the price, basically, of a movie ticket, you're seeing a 3-hour live show where you're interacting, meeting people, getting autographs, taking pictures, etc., so on. You know, the father takes the son and daughter, the parents take the kids, and they're like heroes to the kids because the kids are meeting the wrestlers. When you're a kid and you meet a wrestler, they're like 10 feet tall. I mean, I remember from 40 years ago, I would meet a wrestler who wasn't even quote-unquote famous. I'm like, wow, he's a wrestler because you're a kid. So it's a great, great entertainment value. And and another thing is it's a bonding experience with your dad. When I think of wrestling, it's not just, wow, I saw Bruno Strongbow, Monsoon, the Valiants. It's like I went with my dad. And that's special, especially when your dad is gone, like ours, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's going to be a big night for you. And do you know who your opponent is yet?
My opponent is Lexa Rose, the ring queen.
And she's a veteran, so that'll be good for you.
Yep.
Okay, and tell us a little about her.
Well, she's been on the Starlet shows before. She also wrestles for SWA. So I've seen her a bunch of times. I think I'm pretty prepared for her too. I mean, knowing her matches and knowing what she does and stuff in the ring really helps me, I think, prepare.
Okay. And Johnny, SWA has a big show on the 23rd, I believe, as well.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
May 23rd, that's the biggest event of the year for us. It's our show Wrestle Hell 3.
And what makes this event the biggest? Why is this special?
This is the end of the season for us and the beginning of the season. Everything culminates right here. Years of work are going to come to fruition right here. My chance, for example, Johnny Malloy, my chance to get back my Pride Championship that was taken from me, and my last chance is going to be on May 23rd. The last time you may ever see CJ Antonino or Steven Persons may be on May 23rd as they're in a loser leaves town match. We have debuts of the behemoth Aria Cadenza, NYWC's student, coming to SWA to face Lexa Rose. Mike Magnum, who will be in NXT by the time I see you next,
wow,
will be having one of his last appearances taking on his childhood best friend, Marty Flames. And of course, you want me to announce this now?
Sure.
And of course, the biggest of all is we will have a special guest, Hall of Famer, Superfly, Jimmy Snuka.
That's
and
right.
that is huge.
That's
it is
right.
Just the icing on an already great cake. And of course, Evan Ginsberg.
Yeah, come meet yours truly. That's right. That's right.
The true draw of our show. But it's going to be a big event. I know all the guys are going to pour their heart into it. And I know I'm going to wrestle that match like it's my last. I'm going to give everything I have. So come on down to the NYWC Sportatorium on May 31st, right here in Deer Park, New York, for Wrestle Hell 3.
And there is not a bad seat in the house, whether it's first row or last row. It's intimate.
Great venue.
It's a great little venue, and I've been there many times. And again, it's a great night out. And look, I've been going to wrestling for over 40 years, and I'm a jaded old school fan, and I enjoy your shows. If I didn't, I wouldn't invite you here. I mean, really.
No, I appreciate that. We're trying to do something with it. We're trying to be different. It's hard to be.
Well, tell us how you're different, because on any given night there could be 3 shows to choose from on a Friday or Saturday. So what makes you different and special?
Well, you mentioned the ROH shows and the Dragon Gate shows and the quality of wrestling they bring. And the wrestling's through the roof. They bring that Japanese strong style. They mix it with the European technical wrestling, and you get that American strong style. And that's the big thing right now with companies like Beyond Wrestling and Combat Zone Wrestling. We take that and we mix it with the old school. What is missing in the New York wrestling scene? The characters, the stories. It's not just fighter A versus fighter B.
Right.
It's the story you're watching with 2 combatants in the story. And that's what we call the SWA revolution. The blending of the past, what worked in the 70s and 80s, and what works right now in independent wrestling.
Speaking of independent wrestling, I have a good question.
Yeah.
You're an excellent talker, and many times indie wrestlers come on and they can't talk. So how do you put over an indie wrestler who's not a good talker, even if they're great in the ring?
You know, we opened the SWA Training Academy 8 months ago, and we're training people. And the one thing you have the hardest time teaching is talking. Be able to connect, be able to tell that.
And also charisma. Either you have it or you don't.
And that's the thing. And you could try to cover it with a gimmick, and you could try to put them behind a mask. But at the end of the day, you either have to be comfortable talking to people or you're not. And a lot of people in independent wrestling just aren't comfortable talking.
See, so back in the old days, you would have a heel manager like Eric.
Yeah.
You would have Blassie, Albano, the Wizard, Jim Cornette, Bobby Heenan. And if a guy wasn't a great talker, you could pretty much protect them and let them do their damage in the ring, But it's a little tough on an indie show. Another thing that I find, and I'm not directing this at you, but another thing I find is many times I'm at an indie show and the mic is distorted. So all you're hearing is, and you're not actually hearing what they're saying.
Happens all the time.
So at bare minimum, the promoter must make sure the mic is good, because otherwise it's just noise.
We're very lucky. I mean, the NYWC guys run that building and they run a tight ship. It's usually great microphones. And we have a lot of guys who know how to talk into a microphone. You
Good.
can't talk a million miles an hour. You can't vary the distance back and forth. You need to be comfortable. You need to hold that microphone, and you need to be confident in what you're saying. And the NYWC Sportatorium, when someone talks, you hear every word. I love that venue. It's a nice little box. You should come down. It's a long drive.
That was a great promo that he said. I'm sold.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, he already sold me.
You missed the birth of your mother and father. Don't you dare miss the SWA show.
Yeah.
So, Binky, when you tell your family, I'm going to get in the ring, how do they react? Are they worried about you getting hurt? Or
They are definitely worried about me getting hurt. My mother was like, well, I would never do that.
Right.
She knows what it is. She understands what I'm doing, but she's nervous for me.
And what does your mom do?
She works at Home Depot. Retail.
Okay. So this is very far removed from retail.
Yes.
You know?
She thinks, I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna, die, like get killed, break an arm, break a leg. She thinks it's gonna be.
But the possibility does exist that people get hurt in the ring.
And I tell her, that's a risk I take. That's my own risk and my chance, and I'm willing to take it. So.
And as a woman, how do you feel about how the women wrestlers are portrayed on TV? It's almost schizophrenic. WWE, it's like a circus. It's a semi-strip show. Then next they're treated as athletes. It's a very strange.
It's a rough mix. I mean, I'm coming out in a full onesie, full pajama onesie. So I'm not showing a ton of skin and.
Right.
Counting on.
That's for Jerry to do.
Yeah.
Johnny, I should say. I'm sorry.
I'm not counting on a lot of being sexy and getting over that way to portray my.
That's
gimmick.
admirable.
Yeah, I think if I can get over on my wrestling and connecting with the crowd by entertaining them, that would be much bigger than just showing some skin.
I think that's to be respected, and I'm a huge fan of Sarah Del Rey, and I'd rather see her on TV than Playboy pinups, because I want to see quality wrestling. What do you think, Eric?
I just went to the NXT house show in Philadelphia on Thursday.
And how was it?
And
be honest.
It was okay. I mean, NXT's had a lot of trouble right now with injuries, so
yes.
But they had the women as the main event.
Really?
Yeah,
and who were they? Flair's
Charlotte and Sasha Banks for the title was the main event.
And how was the match itself?
The match was pretty good. Like a lot of people, I don't watch the women's wrestling because in Raw it's just garbage. It's like I don't know what they're doing.
Don't hold back
they're
now.
Not wrestling.
Just garbage. Okay.
Bella Twins is on. Whatever. You're married to the two top guys. Who cares? What I mean? You're just rolling around there in a little bikini. But Ric Flair's daughter is really good, and they put the girls in the main event. And they had Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor and Tyler Breeze in a three-way in the middle of the show, and put the women as the main event on that show.
And what did you think of that? Does that make sense?
Well, Triple H was there and cut a promo and said we're trying to do things differently down here.
Okay.
But you also have to try to do it differently on the main show. It's like if you're going to give these girls 15-minute main events and have the match put together like the men, and then you bring Charlotte up and have 90-second matches on Raw. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's
almost like neutering yourself.
Yeah. And this is why fans don't care. It's people will buy the women's wrestling if they come up and have 15-minute matches on Raw, which they were doing for a little bit, and they've seemed to have gotten away from that. They're very.
But they'll have a 20-minute promo.
Yeah, they'll have a 20-minute promo.
Stultifying, stilted dialogue.
They had the short attention span on Raw too. They try things for 5 or 6 weeks and then they give up on it. So
I just love watching Cesaro. That guy is so phenomenal.
He's an incredible athlete.
He should be pushed to the roof.
I hear a lot of people like him, but the one key person doesn't. Vinnie Mac. I heard he's not strong on Cesaro. And that's all that matters at the end of the day.
They just had the tag belts, so he is somewhere in the mix, which is positive.
They're having great matches too. I didn't really like that New Day either, but that's a pretty good feud they got going on.
Yeah, they work well together.
New Day.
So Binky, this is your first match?
Yes.
But where do you see yourself down the road? Where would you like to take this?
Well, I'm hoping that NYWC invites me back for their Starlet show, but I am training at the SWA Training Academy, so hopefully I will make a debut in SWA eventually. I mean, that's really my home. That's where I train and everything. So I'd like to be on their shows most of all.
Great, great. And tell us about the academy, Johnny.
Well, we opened about 10 months ago, right in Deer Park. Really easy to find. We've enrolled a lot of students, and we have about 1 in 10 students seems to stick around because we do enforce a hard cardio regimen. We do expect you to pay your dues, and we do train you the old school 80s style wrestling.
Wow.
We've had seminars with Jason Knight. We have seminars coming up with some big legends, and we try to make sure that the kids get the whole education from start to finish. How to wrestle, how to put it together, how to talk, how to get bookings, how to travel. You know, they get the feeling for losing the money the first couple of years, and then learning how they should be getting money the next couple of years and not wrestling for free for the rest of their lives. We try to give the whole education, and when I look at the other schools in the area, except NYWC, I have nothing but good things to say.
John Kersey's coming on the show, by the way, finally. I've been asking him for 3 years. He's going to do the show in a few weeks.
See, I'll pretend I knew that when I just said that, but but I have nothing but good things to say about them. But I can say, besides NYWC, that I feel SWA is the top school, and with our head trainer, Mike Magnum, currently going down for the NXT tryouts in June and has a contract waiting, we now are going to have a direct line between our school and the NXT program. So right now, there's no better time to join the SWA Training Academy.
There you go. He is a good talker. All right.
That's a good promo.
There you go. Speaking of promos, everybody plug whatever you want to plug before we go to commercial break. Eric, plug your Facebook pages.
Facebook group is Classic Japanese Pro Wrestling. It's a very, very serious group. No nonsense in there. But you'll learn a lot in there. It's the smartest guys in the world are in that room.
Smartest guys in the world.
Yes,
in the whole world or just the wrestling world?
In the wrestling world.
I thought you meant like the whole world.
I've been watching Japanese wrestling since 1984, and I learned something there every day from these guys.
And I just want to say one thing quickly. We were having this discussion before. The other night, you plugged, like probably 35 different pages and different, just different wrestling-related things. And I find that very admirable. There's a whole selfishness in the wrestling community. Don't use this page to plug anything or promote anything. It's not sacred scripture. It's all about mutual support. Johnny, the indie promoters always used to kill each other, Absolutely. And it still goes on today. But, when people actually support each other and cross-promote, it's just better, don't you think?
Well, New York Wrestling Connection, NYWC. That's what they're trying to do. They brought the Ludus Wrestling, the Fighting Spirit, the NYWC, SWA, and CZW all together, and we all have a wonderful working relationship. And not to mention...
And isn't that better than, idiots slashing tires and pulling down flyers? And
Absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely. When you go to an NYWC show, you'll see SWA flyers on the seat. And when you go to an SWA show, you'll see NYWC flyers. It's a nice cohesive synergy we got going.
That's beautiful.
Different than what we go through. ECWA announces a show, and 4 other groups announce a show the same night.
ECWA, JD Bam Bam Browning down there.
Ah, he's my man. He's on my side.
Yes, one of my best friends in the world.
He's in an 8-man tag with me.
See, if I were promoting,
Browning.
It would be very simple. You got 3 guys running on Saturday. You run on Friday. Come on. I mean, this is common sense.
Well, ECWA has their dates booked for the whole year.
Right.
Yes.
But then what happens is then they announce a date, which is already set in stone, and then the groups announce a show.
I know, ridiculous.
You're indies, you're only drawing 300-400 anyway, and now you're cutting. And so you're announcing a show to get what? You're stealing 50 people off the show. So nobody's drawing anything. It's
absolutely insane. Any other plugs? Websites, upcoming shows?
SWARevolution.com. We have hours of free media for you guys. We don't want to charge you online. We want to charge you when you come to the door. Check us out, see all that content for free, get interested, and come down May 23rd to the NYWC Sportatorium, because Wrestle Hell 3 is going to be once in a lifetime for me and for you.
There you go. And Binky, want to plug anything?
Come
Website?
down to the NYWC Sportatorium May 29th and see my debut on the Starlet Show.
There you go. And very quickly, FTW Wrestling is May 30th, 3 p.m., a matinee at La Boom, 56-15 Northern Boulevard in Woodside. That's my turf, Queens, New York. That's on the 30th, the same night, you have Evolve and Evolve, star-studded. Davey Richards is going to be there, Chris Hero, etc., so on. That's May 30th, 6 p.m. at La Boom, so that's a double shot. And May 31st, it's also FTW Homecoming at the Ronkonkoma Fire Department, the luxurious Ronkonkoma Fire Department in Ronkonkoma, New York, and that's 4 p.m. And speaking of luxurious, the Elks Lodge, my buddy Jack Sabbath running ICW 2 nights, June 26th and June 27th. Everybody knows the Elks Lodge, so I'll leave it at that. And check out my book, Apartment 4B Like in Brooklyn, about the turbulent East Flatbush of the 60s and 70s. Also some great wrestling content going to the Garden back in the WWF days, and pop culture as well. And when we come back, we're going to have wrestler Coupe DeVille joining us. Some more wrestling talk later in the show. Tommy Marr with a tribute to B.B. King, live music. Don't you dare go anywhere.
Welcome to the Rehab Center located at 2025 Brentwood Road in Brentwood, New York. At the center we offer chiropractic services, acupuncture, and physical therapy. We take most major medical, no-fault, and workers' comp insurance. If you need these types of services, contact the offices at 631-234-4949. That's 631-234-4949.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, GMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with the one and only Madhouse TV. You are the man.
1.3 million women are victims of physical assault by an intimate partner each year. According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, the majority of cases aren't reported to the police. Most people who are in an abusive relationship don't even know they're in one. The truth is, all abusive relationships boil down to one thing: control.
How do you like it? My new dress.
Are you out of your mind? You look like a prostitute. We're not going out with you dressed up like that in public.
But what am I supposed to wear?
Wear something decent. You can't wear that out in public. We're going to be late. Get back in there and pick a different outfit. I'm going to go run some errands. I'll be back in 30 minutes. Please be ready, okay?
Fine, I'll change. Fine.
Abuse is not always physical, leaving wounds that are visible on the outside. Emotional abuse is just as painful, only these wounds are hidden on the inside.
Are you out of your mind? You're crazy. You look like a prostitute.
Know that abuse is abuse, no matter what the form.
Look at me.
Oh my God, what's wrong with me?
Physical abuse scars the body.
I just wanted to love me.
But mental abuse scars the mind.
What you just saw was an example of a relationship that is emotionally abusive. Nobody has the right to tell you how to dress or how to act. If someone really cares for you, they won't tear you down. They will build you up.
How do you like it?
Wow. You look great. Fantastic. But then again, you look great all the time.
Thank you. I was hoping you'd like it. It's my new dress. I bought it just so we could go out tonight.
You look stunning.
Thank you. But I think I'm going to take a sweater just in case it gets cold tonight.
Great idea. I'm going to take one too. Let's go.
All relationships are not perfect, but a healthy relationship is when two people bring out the best in each other and have each other's good in mind. Take your time to know someone instead of rushing into something. It is better not to involve yourself with an abusive person than to try and get out of a domestic violence situation.
If someone is abusive to you and you need help, please call the Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-SAFE. They have highly trained experts available 24/7 who will speak with you confidentially and offer information regarding the unhealthy aspects of your relationship, resources, or immediate support for victims to find safety and live lives free of abuse. Domestic violence affects us all.
It affects us all.
Nos afecta a todos.
It affects us all.
모두에게 영향을 줍니다.
Che ci ricarte tutte.
It affects us all.
Domestic violence.
And we are back with Legends TV, and joining the conversation, Coupe DeVille. How are you today?
I'm doing excellent.
There you go.
Having me on the show is definitely a pleasure.
Same here. Same here. Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, my name is Coupe DeVille. From the Bronx. I've been wrestling for a little while, maybe about 6 years. Now at Hog, House of Glory, under Amazing Red. So.
And what's it like working with someone as established and tremendous work? What's it like working with Red?
Well, I've actually just signed up last month. So we're getting into the process of getting the training in, but it's awesome though. He's a great person.
And tell us about some of the highlights thus far in your career.
Well, I was at Empire Pro, BWF, the Monster Factory. I became a champion, all-star champ, a world champ, a couple of federations. It's been pretty good. But it's nothing like coming here today.
Okay.
It's nothing like coming here today.
All right.
Have you seen House of Glory?
Not yet. Not yet.
It's really good promotion. They've had AJ Styles there. A friend of mine was booking for a little while there, Dennis Long. I don't think he's there anymore, but they had AJ Styles on a few shows. They bring some big talent in.
I've seen Red live probably 40 times over the years.
Yeah, I live right by Murphy Rec Center, and he was in those old Ring of Honor shows.
Yeah, Red's great.
Yeah, he really is.
They actually have AJ Styles is going to be at the next one on May 25th. It's going to be AJ Styles, Justin Gabriel, Samoan Joe, and Scott Hall.
And where's the venue?
I believe the Amistad Ballroom.
Okay.
I believe.
Wow. So that's a pretty loaded lineup.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
So speaking of that, it seems that the indies are making a comeback of sorts. You know, there's a lot of activity. You know, name guys are coming in. The crowds seem to be bigger from what I'm seeing. I mean, I was at the ICW show in a snowstorm, and Samoa Joe was there, and the place was packed to the rafters. And whenever I go to SWA, you draw a good crowd. So what do you think is going on? Are people getting away from WWE, or?
I think the indie scene is starting to peak out. You know, we're starting to say, hey, how you doing? We're out here. A lot of people who are into, you know, professional wrestling, sports entertainment, they like to look at, you know, WWE, the main brands. So, like a lot of the younger guys, a lot of the indies brands are starting to, hey, we're doing a lot of good promotions, and people are starting to look at them. And, you know, after you come to a show and you see a great match and you're entertained, you know, that's what kind of sticks with you. So I think that people are starting to really, like, you know, give that best foot forward and then want to go out there and check us out.
There you go. And who are some of the wrestlers that have influenced you?
Wow. Amazing Red, of course. Kurt Angle's always been one of my favorites.
Angle's tremendous.
Very tremendous.
He's the real deal.
Of course.
Anthony Gangone. Mick Foley. Bret the Hitman Hart, and Hulk Hogan. I actually got a call from him when I was 9 years old.
Really?
Yeah, my dad, he did like a lot of big bodyguard work. So he was a big guy, much bigger than me. And Hulk Hogan gave me a call at 9, and he was like, hey, you know, you can do it, brother. He gave me the whole big speech. You know, he didn't believe who it was at first.
Yeah.
And being a kid and being, hey, I knew exactly who he was. And that's why I stuck to professional wrestling.
So tell us a little about your dad. He sounds interesting.
Yeah, he was a mixed martial arts, 4th-degree black belt. He was
really?
He used to work with Q-Tip, Vibe Magazine, a lot of the Busta Rhymes, a lot of the big stars, and Hulk Hogan, of course, the wrestlers. So growing up, I had all the tapes.
Wow.
From back in the days, like Texas Tornadoes and stuff like that before my day. And that's kind of like what made me really
No acting up in your house.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Straight military.
Dad's an MMA guy.
Yeah.
Better listen.
I always had the best things growing up like that.
So your dad was an athlete, a martial artist, you know, obviously a big guy. So what did he teach you as far as being a man, and what did you learn from him?
I learned this. He said, if you ain't going to be smart, you're going to be strong. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you make, you know, as a kid, you make simple mistakes. You know, you want to, don't do this, you don't, you know, go different places, do certain things. And, you know, being that solid foundation, basically that solid foundation is what basically got me through life. Like, he taught me a lot of things, you know, how to be strong, how to be man, how to sit straight up, how to talk to people, how to present yourself, you know? Maybe a little bit. How to sit up, you know, keep your chest out. And always just be yourself, you know, always be humble around people and just, you know, be strong and always use your mind. So that's kind of the best things that you can teach any kid growing up. And being anybody, you know, being a man and growing as a person, that's the best things that you can learn.
And I think I know the answer already, but what are your goals? I know you want to go to WWE because you cut the promo, but any other goals? Maybe Japan.
Yes,
Eric's a big Japan guy.
That's actually that's my dream. You know, that's one of my biggest dreams, to go to Japan. You know, I'm into the Japanese arts and the martial arts and the language and everything about it. It's just, you know, it screams that besides the competition, you know, it's hard hitting. You know, and it's a different feel for the wrestling. It's a different respect for it too as well. You know, they take it very seriously. It's a very deep passion. And I look at the indies wrestling, and I look at the Japanese pro, and I look at the wrestling, and I see that, you know, it's what you have as a child. You as a wrestler, you have a passion, you have a drive within yourself. And when you see other people producing that, it makes your passion and your strive just a little bit more. And that's just, you know, it's a push, it gives, forget, you know, and that's kind of like I think Japan would be an awesome move and an ultimate move right there. That was
It's much more seriously over there.
Oh yeah.
It is. It's a little difficult now to get over there because so many promotions are having trouble drawing. So
And
they
why
can't
is
really
that?
afford it. They've all lost their TV.
But why? Why?
I don't know whether it was like an economic collapse or something, but like they were all on network TV, and now they're on these cable channels like Samurai TV, Galore TV is where G Plus is on there, but nobody has cable over there. It's half the country doesn't have cable.
Interesting.
And all these wrestling shows are on these little tiny cable stations that no one sees.
Right.
Yeah. So it's very hard. Yeah, you have Pro Wrestling Noah, 2005 ran the Tokyo Dome and drew 55,000.
Wow.
And now they can't get 1,200 in Cork and Hall.
Really?
They have no TV. So it's hard. In the old days, you get a lot of Gaijin talent over there. And
Stan
now it's just-
Hansen, Brody,
now it's
Gordy.
very- now it's very, very difficult because they just can't afford it. It's hard.
So besides training with great people like Red, do you study old tapes? What do you do to become the ultimate wrestler?
Well, what I do is I have a combination of mixed martial arts, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I take boxing, I swim, golf, fence, anything that you can do to get the blood flowing, anything that I can do that I can learn, that's what I try to do. I'll get outside 4:30 in the morning and I'll do 1,000 push-ups. I'll
Wow.
run the 3 miles. I'll have maybe 4 or 5 guys come up and have them work out with me or throw some blows and I'll try to defend them. All different types of styles of fighting, all different types of styles of training. Because, I'm not the biggest guy in the yard.
Right,
So
right.
you have to be sharp. You have to be on point. And you have to be precise in your movements. And that's what it's all about. So I like to take those different styles to make my own style.
So I remember Loki when he was a kid starting out at the Doghouse, and he mixes all these styles. Have guys like Loki influenced you?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
That's like when I look at Loki, I look at a older version of myself. Of course, I see him like me, but just more experience, and experience is everything in this business.
See,
so that's what I'm trying to gain now.
Loki has elevated pro wrestling to an art form like the Japanese wrestlers. What he does is so far and above much of the nonsense you see in WWE. I was actually proud when he walked away. It's like, follow your own path. And, he was happy wrestling in Japan and having, doing something artistic instead of buffoonery.
He's really great because he's different than everybody else.
Yeah.
A lot of times you watch this wrestling and it's like, you watch Raw, it's like Brock Lesnar's awesome because he's so different.
Yeah.
And then it's like 35 of the same exact guy on Raw. It's like, this guy, Ziggler and Kofi Kingston is the same guy. They're doing the same exact thing. They're just flipping around. Yeah. But Lesnar's so different. That's why low-key was great for all those years because he was just
Lesnar,
Still great.
Yeah.
Still great.
He really is, yeah.
Lesnar is like the school bully. You legitimately dislike him. He's the perfect heel. He's the perfect heel.
He's so great at what he
Tremendous.
does.
Yeah.
I mean, like a lot of people, I thought that WrestleMania match was going to be a fiasco. Roman Reigns. And
It was great.
Oh, it was a great match.
good,
My
yeah.
gosh, jeez, that's maybe 3rd, 4th best match of the year. Or top 5.
When I say something
match.
positive about WWE, it's really great. That was a great match.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't have much positive to say about them, but I enjoyed that match.
Tremendous.
And he was in that, the Royal Rumble, that 3-way.
I mean, as an old school guy,
Years.
I didn't particularly like how Rollins won the belt. I'd rather see a one-on-one match with a pin, but still, it was at least it was surprising. It was good.
Well, it's funny,
Yeah.
Brandon, someone mentioned to me, I hate that finish, that triple threat. Out of all the gimmick matches, that's the one that I
Yeah.
hate the most. And, if you can't really equate wrestling to sports, but can you imagine Super Bowl 0-0 with 30 seconds left between the Eagles
And Johnny
the
Malloy
Patriots?
runs in and takes the pass.
Eagles and the Patriots
Yeah.
in the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and then the Dallas Cowboys run out with 30 seconds left with a briefcase, kick a field goal, and they win the Super Bowl.
That's
it's
right.
so absurd.
The Cowboys
it's so
would need to do
absurd.
that, though.
Something similar happened like that with Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart versus Yokozuna, WrestleMania 10. And he threw the sand in his eyes. Oh, he cheated him, and then Hulk Hogan came out and he got the pin and 1, 2, 3, and next thing you know, he's
and
the champ. So I was
they've
just
done it
like-
2 years in a row at WrestleMania. So
There's nothing more dramatic than one-on-one, and the guy pins the guy clean in the middle of the ring. You don't have 22 guys running in and out of the ring.
to me, and also it's WrestleMania. You had a whole year to build it up, and you couldn't come up with a finish, so you came up with that. It's like, how much more time do you need?
I think part of it was the fans turned on Reigns. I don't think they expected that. I think Reigns was the guy, and at the last second they decided he wasn't the guy.
Right.
I could be wrong, but
yeah. But I think the problem is that they've built Lesnar up so strong that it's very difficult to buy some of these guys beating him.
Yeah.
And they're just looking at Roman Reigns and they're just saying, no, I'm not going to buy this. This guy beating him. He just started up here.
But Lesnar legitimately could take these guys, right? I mean, he's a massive guy. He's a martial artist, right?
There are very few people in that locker room that could stand toe-to-toe with Brock Lesnar. And that's what makes him great. He is the believable guy. He is wrestling's credibility back again.
Never has a bad match. I mean, never. Yeah. I mean, people, they hate John Cena. He has that match with Cena. It's great.
Yes.
You don't want to see Cena and him again.
80% of the audience groans when they see John Cena. It's like, but that was great.
Ironically, Cena does have quality matches fairly regularly.
It's not bad. I saw it all the time.
I'm not too excited about seeing them with Rusev over and over again, or seeing them with Randy Orton 320 times. 320 times. Enough is enough. I don't need to see that match ever again.
I agree with people that I'm sick of seeing them, but for the past 5 or 6, 7 years, if you write down the top 5 or 6 matches in WWE for the year, he's in 3 of them. And it's not always the other guy.
Gotta give him his due. It takes 2 guys.
So he's not as bad as people say, but I get that it's enough already. You got all this talent there, and so I'm still watching Big Show, Kane, Randy Orton, and John Cena on top, and they were there 17 years ago.
That's right. Yeah.
Some new people. It's hard to build them, though.
We need Coupe DeVille. WWE. Actually, you have the look that they like. They like guys who are in shape, charismatic. I think you'd be perfect. So what we're going to do, we're going to show your promo to try to get on Tough Enough.
Okay.
Did you hear anything one way or the other?
They reposted it. I was in the top 200 fan favorites.
Okay.
And I'm probably around #1 in New York City right now.
There you go. There you go.
It's looking all right. Cool.
So we're gonna see
5,000 views.
We're gonna see 2 or 3 quick videos. One is Coupe DeVille's promo to get on Tough Enough, and then the trailer from my documentary that I produced, Wrestling Then and Now, featuring Killer Kowalski, Don Dr. Death Arnold, Nikolai Volkov, some old buddies of mine. And also Main Event Madness Radio. These are some close friends. We were talking about mutual support. We always cross promote each other. Good guys. So a couple of minutes of videos to break up the conversation. Check it out, folks.
I remember getting a call when I was 9 from Hulk Hogan. He told me that I could live my dreams. He told me I could do anything that I needed to do and anything that I believed in. From that moment on, Coupe DeVille has done everything that it never took to get where I am today. Whether it's from going to school, whether it's from learning how to fight, whether it's from being a brother, or being a dad, or just teaching everybody what it's like to live in the light. Coupe DeVille had to be tough enough. I had to be that 1 in 1 million. I may not be the biggest guy in the yard, or the strongest, or the smartest, but damn, I give it 110% each and every time. That little piece that makes you just a little bit more than being a human. So if you ask me if I'm tough enough, I'll tell you that I don't have a choice. Because when it comes to living your dreams and when it comes to doing what you do best, and that's cashing checks and snapping necks, Coupe DeVille is just the best. Now what you know about that? I remember getting a call when I was 9 from Hulk Hogan. He told me that I could live my dreams. He told me I could do anything that I needed to do and anything that I believed in. From that moment on, Coupe DeVille has done everything that it never took to get where I am today. Whether it's from going to school, whether it's from learning how to fight, whether it's from being a brother, or being a dad, or just teaching everybody what it's like to live in the light. Coupe DeVille had to be tough enough. I had to be that 1 in 1 million. I may not be the biggest guy in the yard, or the strongest, or the smartest, but damn, I give it 110% each and every time. That little piece that makes you just a little bit more than being a human. So if you ask me if I'm tough enough, I'll tell you that I don't have a choice. Because when it comes to living your dreams and when it comes to doing what you do best, and that's cashing checks and snapping necks, Coupe DeVille is just the best. Now what you know about that?
From the associate producer of The Wrestler, Evan Ginsberg, comes Wrestling Then and Now.
What? I think you look better with the mask on!
Learn the super secret backstage moves of professional wrestlers.
You know, he knows all those moves and can do everything, right? But
innovative ways of dealing with sexual harassment.
But I actually did make contact on his nuts, and it did hurt.
Ask yourself, what the hell is wrong with these people? Watch Saturday morning cartoons with Nikolai Volkov.
What are you doing here, Nikolai?
yeah, save the Charlotte.
That's the best one, too.
Amazing likeness there.
Good looker guy.
Hear the wisdom of killer Walter Kowalski.
Think you become, the feel you become, what you say you become. Never ever be derogatory about yourself. If you're down, take the upper stand. I am Superman. I am the greatest. I am perfect.
It's a time capsule of a film. Wrestling then and now. Streaming to your computer, to your phone, to your TV. Download now.
Want wrestling? Want sports? Want them all in one place? No problem. Check out Main Event Madness Radio. We have all the latest news, rumors, and results from all major wrestling companies and sports leagues, including WWE, TNA, NFL, and MLB, among others. Check us out today at Spreaker.com/show/Main Event Madness, and beginning on June 1st, check us out at MainEventMadness.com. Our wrestling, your sports, simply madness.
When I watched your video, I found it interesting that you were not in character, you were being yourself. What was the decision on that?
You know, I wanted to give them the real me. I'm always in character 24/7. So, you know, a lot of people, a lot of places I go, they say, give them your real self, you know? And they're going to give me their own character anyway. Wherever you go, you're going to have that character made up. I just want to show them, you know, who I really am, what I'm really about, and that sometimes that's the best way to reach people. Sometimes, you know, you get a look at a person and you get an image or you get this judgment or anything. But once you hear a person speak and you see who they really are, then you'll know. And that's kind of like what it is.
I don't think there's anything wrong with sincerity, and like you said, they'll give you a character once you get to WWE. So, you know, let them see the real you. Did you think it worked, Johnny? Be honest.
I think him sitting next to me right now talking to you sold me more on him as a wrestler than anything else. I'll tell you that. I haven't seen him work, but I can tell he loves the business. And that's really what matters. And if that's what shows through in the video, then you're golden, bro.
Thank you.
There you go. Anything you'd like to plug? Websites, Facebook?
Facebook, the Coupe DeVille Show. Everything is the Coupe DeVille Show. That's at Twitter. That's at
and spell it.
COOPDAVIL show. SHOW. And Pinterest, Facebook, Flickr, MySpace, YouTube, MyTube, YourTube, whatever you can think of.
There you go. All right.
And then that's basically it. You can find me. Put it in Google.
So you obviously know how to promote yourself. A lot of indie wrestlers are clueless, absolutely clueless. You wouldn't even know they're on a card. You know, no promotion.
I try to use a different aspect of all business all the way around. If a booker can see that I can do good promotions, that would be good for me, as well as intelligence.
There you go.
That's the biggest muscle in your body is your brain. That's the one you have to use the most.
There you go.
And then heart is everything.
Speaking of which, quickly, any shows you want to plug? Any upcoming shows you're on?
House of Glory, of course. That's coming up May 25th. Please come check that out. You can see it on the YouTube, the Instagram, and then the Facebooks. And
yeah,
that's it for now.
May 25th?
Yeah, May 25th.
Where is it?
It's a Monday. Yeah, it's a Monday. May 20th. We'll go May 25th. House of Glory, May 25th.
They're running a Monday?
No, it's a Friday show. I'm pretty sure it's the 25th. Pretty sure.
27th.
27th?
Yeah, let's go with 27th.
Let's go with 27th. That sounds a little bit better. May 27th.
Give them the website. This way they'll look it up. What's the website?
You go to houseofglory.com.
There you go. They'll have all the info, the details.
Facebook.com, you go to Twitter, you go to Instagram.com, look at Hog Wrestling, and boom, the fire's right there. Everything is right there.
All right, that'll work. That'll work. Yeah.
That's the best thing.
Time, date, address, that's what you need. So, folks, when we come back, anybody that's seen this show, we're arts-oriented. We're not a wrestling show per se, but We love pro wrestling, the proletarian performance art. So, when we come back, live music with the great Tommy Ma doing a tribute to B.B. King. Don't you dare go anywhere.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. Find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
After all the candles are blown out, after the last toast of the night, Cambridge paving stones with ArmorTech stand the test of time. Beautifully designed, built to last. Only Cambridge paving stones have ArmorTech, our unique process that produces a rich, distinctive color. Create your own memories with Cambridge paving stones. Visit CambridgePavers.com.
Cambridge paving stones with ArmorTech will always look like new.
Okay, and we are back with Legends TV. And anybody that understands professional wrestling realizes it's a family of sort. You know, we may fight, we may quarrel, but it's like a dysfunctional family picnic of sorts. But we want to acknowledge someone who's been very special in the wrestling community, a great historian. I'm going to pass this along to Eric.
Scott Teal, who everyone knows, he writes Crowbar. He writes the books for Crowbar Press. His granddaughter just passed away yesterday. Had a bunch of problems with her heart, and a lot of surgeries the past week, and they just couldn't fix what was wrong. Everybody that knows Scott and people that don't know Scott in the wrestling community sends our condolences out to him and his family. It's got to be an awful time for them right now.
That's right. Scott Teal, our thoughts are with you. And when we come back, Tommy Ma, live music. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, we are live on the Evan Ginsberg Show. And Evan is a very, very big blues fan, and he asked me to do this unbeknownst to me. But we lost a great one yesterday, Mr. B.B. King. I actually was blessed and honored to have met you, and we shared a lot of laughs together. And you're gone, but you'll never be missed. You'll never be forgotten, that's for sure. And your music will be with us forever. So, B.B., we're going to do one for you right now. Come on, BB, play that for me now. Wow! Thrill is gone. Thrill is gone away, yeah. The thrill is gone, baby. Thrill is gone away. So sad you had to go, baby. Oh, but your music's gonna stay. Yes, it is. Wow! Thrill is gone. The thrill is gone away. The thrill is gone, 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 yeah. Thrill is gone away. Well, we never turn you wrong. You'll always be a part of my day. Come on, baby, show it how it's done now. Come on. Free, yeah. Fly away and be free now, baby. Come on. You're free, 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 yeah. Woo! Your free is gone. You never turn us wrong. Now this is your song, baby. Yeah. Thrill is gone. Sad, but the thrill is gone away. The thrill is gone, 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 gone. The thrill is gone away. You always did us right, baby. Now your music's here to stay. God bless you now. God bless you, B.B. King. Rest in eternal peace, always and forever. Take care. Have a blessed week from the Evan Ginsberg Show, right here in the Madhouse.